Lost is on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show where we watch Lost. Because it's good, we think.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to Bite Size Thursday. My name's Jake. This is Jared Aaron. All that. Jared Aaron. This week we're watching the 14th episode of Lost, which is called Special.
Special.
Are we going to figure out why we think Walt can throw those weighted die?
Probably. But he didn't know backgammon until he got to the island. And Locke taught him.
Doesn't mean he's never thrown a dice set before.
I know. But this is... So if I recall... So Michael's Walt's father... But Michael and his wife are divorced, and she remarried because Walt brought him up. What was his name?
Brought him up
to Hurley while they were playing backgammon. He's like, he said something, and Hurley goes, "Your dad said that?" No, my other dad. Something. I don't remember the name. It was a couple episodes ago.
Brian.
Was it also Brian? Wasn't that the name?
Oh, that was it.
But it's a different guy.
Yeah.
He dead
Maybe
now. What does it matter?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Actually, Walt's mom's dead
Yeah,
now, so.
Because remember, she was no. She wasn't on the plane. Jack's dad's coffin was on the plane. But it's empty. But she died, and Michael had to go to Australia where she was living to get Walt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why there's a rift.
And Vincent.
And that's why there's a rift between Michael and Walt, because they've never really spent time together. And Michael sucks.
Yeah.
He really does.
So this is explaining...
Hey, he knows construction.
That's right.
Which apparently translates to everything, which is okay because Jack knows surgery, and that translates to all sorts of medical treatments.
And Shannon watched Finding Nemo.
So she can translate a map.
Yep. Oh, resourceful.
Wow, breaking this show down is sometimes kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, oh, and now after going through what we think the episode flashback is, and then we'll get all about that, and then I realized, no, I probably just said everything we'll learn in this episode about them. The first flashback will be Michael hears his wife's dead. The second one will be he goes there and sees Walt, and the third one will be they're not getting along, and then the fourth one will be
they get on the plane.
I think this is the episode where Walt calls Michael a jerk, and Michael yells right back, and I always make fun of it. I think me and your brother yelled that over and over and over when we watched it because it was just so funny.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's this one. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but we've also said that a couple 100 times of, oh, is it this episode? And it's not. And then, oh, is it this episode? It's not. And, oh, it's not going to be this. And then it is. So that's all I remember. I don't even remember. I don't know what happens on the island. Maybe Vincent goes missing or something.
Again?
Yeah. Because they got to do something in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Hey, they went golfing. And then Sawyer tried to open a Halliburton. And Boone went on an acid trip.
And they went swimming.
Yes, they did.
Maybe they'll play basketball.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
You got anything, Aaron?
I don't know. Maybe they'll build a raft.
It's not a raft. It's a sodding boat.
I don't know. I don't remember anything about this episode, so let's get into it, and let's get...
Lost!
Welcome back, everybody. Boy, do I have a joke for you. Guys, what's black, white, and red all over?
Is it a newspaper?
Someone who got mugged with an ice cream sandwich?
It's a penguin with a sunburn. We just watched the episode of Lost called Special. It was a Walt episode, so it was
Walt.
one of Walt and I don't even know.
Michael.
Aaron's absolute favorite.
Uh-huh.
Michael sucks in this episode. Like, before, he's tolerable.
I think Michael sucks in most episodes.
Yeah.
I know it gets worse, but just before this, it's like, okay, it's been fine. And then this one, it's like, for no reason other than this has to be the episode where he's more of a jerk. He's just, he's mad at everything
Yeah.
right away for no reason.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because, like, through the episode, you do see that he has reason to be.
Yeah. He has no reason to be a jerk. He has a reason to be upset. But the way he snaps at everybody...
It's more
in
about
the
the way.
present.
It's more about the way he snaps at Walt. Because I can understand why he would not want Walt around Locke. Because of the dangerous nature of what they understand about the island. And Locke has weapons and Walt is 10.
But also, you kind of do want him around Locke for those same reasons.
Yeah, that is the thing, isn't it? But then also, I think he sees, as probably warranted, Boone as unhinged.
Yeah.
Boone is a goon.
Boone is a goon.
Just tackles Michael when he has that knife.
I'm telling you, I think they were setting up Boone to be an antithesis.
Antagonist?
Yes.
Yeah, and then
Whatever reason.
Well, we mentioned, without jumping too far ahead, Walt has an interesting, like, just drop off at a certain point.
Yeah.
And part of it is, what is his name? I think is it Malcolm David Kelly? Is that the kid's name?
I think you're right.
But it's like, they film this, year to year, and Malcolm David Kelly. So they film it year to year, so he's going to age, and, like, he'll look different, and his voice will drop when he's supposed to not have aged that much. So that's the problem in any show where you have kids that age, when they will age.
Yeah.
But it does feel like from what we remember, that they kind of dropped the ball on him. Because especially this episode is special, and it's supposed to be things happen when Walt's around. It's like, okay.
For some reason, I thought I remembered when he made the bird fly into the window that he also brought the bird back to life. Like, he looked at it and the camera cut back to it and then it was back to life. I might be confusing it with a different show, but
That could be.
Does Michael or Walt, do they have another flashback episode? Michael does. I am not seeing...
in this season, though.
No.
Well, if it's
Michael has 2 in the next season.
if it's a Michael episode, I'd have to assume that Walt's somehow related to it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like on Wikipedia, it says Michael and Walt for this episode, but then the other 2 I just saw, it said only Michael. And if you think about it, he's only around Walt when he's a baby, and then when he goes to Sydney, Australia. And
True.
so it's got to be in between stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of crappy how his mom came all the way over to a different country, didn't bring him just to be like, hey, my new husband is going to adopt him, and you don't have anything to say about it.
While Michael's in recovery in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
pushing him around, said, "Oh, by the way, yeah, she to make sure we get this right, Michael sucks."
She did not do
his
him any
ex-beloved,
favors.
because they weren't married, because she made it a point not to be married to him. She sucks, and so does her husband, Brian. He sucks.
See, I don't think that Michael sucks
Michael sucks in the present.
In the flashback.
Yeah,
the
Michael
present.
is warranted
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the flashback because he's angry because she kind of, it's like, I won't marry you. I'm going to take this job and just take him with me, and then I'm not going to let you see him or talk to him, and I'm going to hold all your letters to him. Like, and we don't.
That's really crappy.
Yeah.
Do we know why? Does anyone remember why she did that, or is it just never answered? And that's fine if it isn't, but it just makes her look really bad.
I don't even know why she died, except for she was feeling kind of fluey.
She had a blood
Disorder.
Yeah.
But remember, he said things
Did they
happen
say
around
that?
Walt.
Yeah.
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 Brian said that to him because then he said things happen around Walt. It's like, I wonder if they're building up Walt somehow, like negative things are drawn to him or something. Because that bear did get drawn to him too.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was another polar bear. I had forgotten there was.
I thought it was just the one scene
Yeah.
earlier in the show where they kill it. But nope, there's another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
poor Walt. Both his parents suck.
Yeah.
And his stepdad sucks.
Yeah.
And he finally finds a father figure, and Michael's like,
Did they effectively steal that dog from him then?
I think so.
Okay, just making sure. But I mean, isn't that you're the only one that's a dad. The way that he took on the blame for Brian instead of that kind of feels like something a dad would choose to do in that situation, in that kind of like broken space.
That was interesting. Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't just lay it on Brian, lay the blame on Brian like that.
Well, couldn't have handled that.
Yeah.
Brian seemed like a nice guy, and it's just, I don't want to be a dad. I don't want to be a dad. It's like, well, you adopt him. I just wanted to be with her. It's like,
here's the real question: if Brian was just gonna dump him somewhere, or dump him with Michael, why didn't he just bring him?
Yeah,
he could have kept his dog that way.
Brian, you suck, Brian.
Yep.
That is also a really, like, I was thinking about that when he was on the phone. Like, if I was talking to my wife, I know they weren't married, but my wife, and I heard some other dude on the phone, he's like, and then she goes, I've been seeing someone, I would be pissed.
And then I gotta go. And it's like, what? Well, no. What do you mean I gotta go? And then he gets hit by that car. I forgot all about
Which always, so, getting hit by a car is so brutal. Why does it always look so not brutal?
Because it's a stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess, but
that's probably why. It's because it's like because you can see him. The stuntman anticipates the hit. You'll like lean into it,
which is why they always roll onto the hood.
Yeah, which is funny because I was scrolling Twitter the other day, and it was like,
why would you do that?
I do it every day. Not that long, just, killing time. And it was like a video of a guy like rushing out with a golf club and just starts beating this guy's car. I don't know the context. And the car just keeps backing up. And then it just hits him. Like, not full blast, just goes for it and hits. It's like how, because the guy just keeps coming after him. And when he hits him, it's just a boom. And it's like dead weight that you hit. The guy's not dead or anything, but like you just plow right over. So in these stunts, they're rolling onto it, like you said, because they're anticipating it. Whereas a real hit, it's just boom, and you're on the ground. You're kind of limp in the air for a second. I think that's why it doesn't feel brutal in like movies. Mm. Funny how that tied in from something I saw like yesterday, but
yeah.
Finally got the quote. You're a jerk. What did you say to me? Me and your brother laughed at that so much. I don't know why. It's not like they screamed it. It's not like it's delivered funny. It was just funny. Someone finally said it. He's a jerk. That's the thing. He's a little cruel.
Yeah.
Like what would you say?
I was gonna say when Walt was looking at that comment, I like the pictures. Oh, you like the art, do you? I used to be an artist. Give me that. We need to go work.
Yeah.
And then he throws it in the fire.
Did he throw it? I didn't see that part.
Yeah, well, that was later.
Yeah, that's why he's cruel, because after he yells at it, the "you're a jerk" thing, he just chucks it into the fire. That's why, right?
Yeah.
He chucks it into the fire because he put it in his pocket after their little, come on, we need to work chat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and then you had said, oh, he's not trying very hard, and then I thought, yeah, it's this weird duality of he is trying way too hard and also not trying at all.
Yeah.
He's trying way too hard at the wrong things, and then the stuff he needs to try on, coming from someone who's not a father. But it's like, I can see what he could at least try to do. Mm-hmm. Not that I'd know what to do, but you can tell he hates this, because what'd Hurley say? Nah, he hates it.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, he hates this.
Yeah.
Which, first few days of being an actual father with a child that I don't want to say has been dumped on you, but like that in that way.
After the death of your former girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was just kind of dumped on you.
You guys crash on an island, and it's going to be hard. I get it.
I kind of agree with Locke's whole thing of like he comes to me because I treat him like an adult.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing wrong with like letting him. Like he has his mind is free. Just let him mature. And like throwing the knife, I'm like, yeah, I have no problem with it because it's like you're on an island.
Right.
That will probably come in handy, and they're being careful about it. I can understand why Michael's upset at Walt just disappearing, but like he just gets in Locke's face. It's like, dude.
And
If anyone, I would get in Boone's face.
Boone to goon.
Boone is a goon.
Boone is a goon. Yeah. I don't think Locke is necessarily doing anything wrong either, because Walt keeps coming to him. It's not like Locke is pulling Walt away
and
from...
then Locke told him, you can't see me anymore. Your dad doesn't want to. He's like, he's not the boss of me. He's like, actually, yes, he's your father. You have to respect him. I go, I respect Locke for that. He's like, yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
What I wanted to have happen when Michael throws Walt the knife, I wanted Walt to pick it up and just right in the bear's face.
Yeah. Oh, there's you said, Aaron. Oh, there goes their meat once they let it just go away.
Yeah.
This is. Remember, we said we're in the mid-season filler episodes, and it is a filler. Wait, remember I've said before in the show, and filler isn't bad. This is important backstory.
Yep.
But it's one of those where the flashbacks are way more interesting than the island stuff.
I don't think that's true.
In this episode.
I don't think that's true.
They
start talking about the Black Rock.
Little bit, but it's
what
like
do you mean a little bit?
One
the
scene.
whole trying.
It's like one scene.
No,
where they
it's
actually
not.
talk about the black in this episode.
No, it's not. They did the whole thing with the triangulation of the island. That was this episode.
Oh wow!
And then we had the longest scene in Lost history with Charlie.
Not reading the diary.
No, but he did
later, but just to just keep setting it down.
And then funny. And then they talk about the Black Rock, which is something I forgot about because that's where they get the dynamite to blow up the hatch.
Oh,
and then Claire comes back.
Yeah.
At the very end of the episode to get us to watch the next one.
What did you expect it to be?
Yeah.
Right.
But it does fit into that mold of filler episode.
Mm.
I think that the flashbacks make it feel that way more than what it is.
Yeah. And the reason I was going to bring it up is because the last two fillers right before this, it is kind of the opposite well, except for the Kate one is kind of, but like the last one, the Boone Shannon backstory is important, but it is kind of the more interesting stuff is Boone's little acid trip.
Yeah.
And then in this one, I was feeling like, covering like 10 years of Michael and Walt's backstory is going to be more interesting than what's happening on the island in the moment. Because again, we are still kind of meandering in the middle of the season right now because you have to do that when you have these long seasons. And I'm looking at the next couple episodes like, I don't even remember what happens because we remember what it leads to, and we're starting to get there. But yeah, Claire coming back is an easy we gotta, this is gonna push the story forward, and we gotta see how, because I don't remember. She walked out, I forgot that they just let her go for some reason. Right. I don't remember why.
And don't they go on like a mission to get Aaron back or something?
What is it, season 2?
So. Is
3?
it already in season 2?
I don't know where it is. Is it
I know
this season?
Eventually she gets the baby back.
I don't remember. It could be this season even. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know. We've got plenty of episodes left.
I mean,
we do.
That was 13.
That was 14.
That was 14.
Yeah, so we have 11 left in this season. So plenty can happen.
It's fair. And then we get into what I think is your least favorite season.
Yep.
Or at least talking about it, anyways.
Least favorite season the one time I watched it. But again, this first season is paced a lot faster than I remember it being. So I wonder if season 2 will be faster than what I remember.
It is different when you're watching it like week to week, but I don't think you were.
No, we were watching it like, yes, big binging sessions before binging was even recognized as like a word like that.
Mm.
We'd sit there because, again, it was the summer. We just sit
What
there.
else are you gonna do?
We'd sit there for hours watching episodes. So I bet you we saw season 1 in less than a week. We just plowed through episodes. I think I watched the whole show within like 2 months.
Fair.
Something like that. Like it was just that summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember 2 taking forever. We'd sit in that room down there with the couch and whatnot next to what was your room, and then when you guys switched rooms, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We'd sit on that couch and watch Lost, and it'd be like season 2. We'd watch an episode and be like, let's go to something else. Finally got through 2, and then 3, 4 just flew through. Then the last 2 took a little longer.
Yeah, that's a short season anyway, too. But.
4 is a short season, yeah. But still, like, we were flying once we got out of 2. But I'm interested to get back to that season.
4?
Yeah.
2.
2.
Yeah. They just sit there the whole time. In 2. That's why. But again, there's a lot that happens. We'll just
but Desmond is like the best character on the show.
Yeah. He's really good in the later seasons that I remember. I remember more of him from the later seasons than that season.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all I got to say about Special.
Yeah.
Everybody's said their piece. All right. Well, we'll be back next Thursday. Until then, if you want to join us, where can they find us?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, The Funny, TikTok, and X.
Formerly known as Twitter.
And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ring our notification bell. Make sure you check us out and rate us on all those apps, and swing by our groovy website.
And next week we will be watching episode 15, which is called the menu's not on anymore. What's it called?
Homecoming. It's a Charlie episode.
Interesting.
I don't remember.
Nope.
Because most of Charlie's
what could possibly be helped
I know.
Charlie's.
Like all of Charlie's backstory I remember is what we already got.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
we'll see, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll check you out next time as we continue to get
Lost.